evening, everyone. Welcome to the June 23rd Board of Selectmen's meeting. Once again, this is our summer attire. So welcome everybody. Today we have a shorter agenda than we did at our last meeting, which I think broke the record for the longest Board of Selectmen's meeting in Dover. Really great way to break me in. So tonight on the agenda, the first item of business is at our last meeting, we had the recycling committee come in and provide us with a lot of information and along with some comments regarding changing some of the transfer station regulations. So this evening, what I'd like to do is vote to allow the recycling committee to begin to edit those regulations and then bring it back to us to vote on. I don't know, Candace, Ms. McCann, do you have any comments?
No, but I think that's a great idea.
Mr. Lawrence?
Yes, I think we should vote on it.
Okay, so then I will make a motion to vote to have the recycling committee begin to draft the changes to the transfer station regulations to bring back to us as a board to vote on. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Mr. Wilson, you're here with us this evening, and once again, we really appreciate all the hard work of the committee and all the time you take to put together those very valuable presentations, and we look forward to getting the edits. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, the next item of business is at our last meeting, we had a citizens, or as an item of business regarding the town garage and gates being open, and Mr. Ramsey, I had asked that we had talked about you speaking to the superintendent of streets, and I believe you've had some conversations and you've done this with...
Yeah, I had a conversation with Superintendent Craig Hughes as well as Police Chief McGowan, and to the best of their knowledge and recollection, there haven't been any safety or security issues down there. They think it is prudent to keep an eye on it with the proposed Dunkin' Donuts coming along. I should note that Craig mentioned he believed there was one incident longer than 10 years ago where some kids were playing on a salt pile in the salt shed. That was a one-time deal and it's never happened since. So they don't think it necessary this time to be closing and locking the gates. It's worth noting that the police actually sweep through 2 or 3 times a shift with the gates open, so it's actually probably more secure with the gates unlocked. If things change, obviously the superintendent will modify his position.
So he will, especially with the opening of the Dunkin' Donuts, make an effort to make sure that nothing has changed. Well, thank you. I appreciate you and checking in on this with us. The next item of business is Ms. McCann is going to talk to us about the agreement between the town of Dover and the local labor's union.
Thank you, Ms. Hunter. I had the privilege of being the selectman representative on the team negotiating a new contract between the town of Dover and the Department of Public Works. And it was an excellent process. It culminated in a contract agreement, and the best part of all was that it also came along with a hot pizza provided to the negotiating team by the Department of Public Works. So it was a very satisfying and very worthwhile process, and one that I very much appreciated being a part of. So I just wanted to announce that indeed we will now be voting, I believe, right, to execute the year 17 to year 19 memorandum of agreement between the town of Dover and the Labor's Local 1116. Do I hear a motion, or would you like me to make a motion? Then so moved. We would like to execute the memorandum of agreement for 3 years, fiscal year 17 to 19, between the town of Dover and the Laborers Local 1116.
Second. second, and all in favor? Thank you, everyone, and if I knew you would get free pizza, I would make sure to eat it. I love pizza. Can you tell us what's in the contract? What are the increases and that kind of stuff?
Not off the top of my head. Do I have it in the packet?
Yes,
I'm glad you asked. I'm happy to go through it. The first was, in section 1, there was an increase in the monthly sick leave accrual from 1 day per month to 1.25 days per month. In terms of an additional clothes allowance, it went from $700 per year. For the first year, it will be $800. The second year, $850, and the third year, $900. And the duration, everyone agreed that it would be for 3 years. And in terms of the payment, then the increase will be exactly what the town is, 2.2% for the first year, 2.3% for year 2, and 2.3% for year 3. Those were the terms.
Thank you. If I could comment, it sounded like a very positive negotiation, and I think everyone should be applauded.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Moving right along the segment. The next item on the agenda is the school committees, both Dover, Sherborne, and the regional committee. We'll begin the negotiations on the collective bargaining with the teachers union. And as we've done the past 2 times, they would like a Board of Selectmen representative from both the town of Dover and the town of Sherborne to sit on the committee. It's been very helpful to the negotiating team for the Board of Selectmen to bring the town's perspective to the negotiations. I had the privilege 6 years ago of actually chairing the regional school committee and being a part of that negotiation. So what I would like to do is appoint one of us to be the liaison to that committee. And I would volunteer to do it, having been through the process once before. I do have some history that I could lend to them.
Then I move to designate Robert Hunter as our representative of the Board of Selectmen to the negotiations with the school department.
Second.
All in favor? I hope that this experience is as rewarding as it was six years ago. It was really one of my highlights of my professional career. It was really something I'd never been a part of. Really enjoyed it.
Pizza sets a very high standard.
I know, that's the first thing I want to know. At our last meeting, 2 meetings ago, we did have a discussion about the historical commission's desire to mark the streams in town, and we talked a little bit about it. And Candace, do you have some additional information?
Well, thank you very much. I understand you had a conversation with Mr. Sorrow
I did.
board, and it has been suggested that the planning board have an opportunity to review their request, and so I will definitely take that information back to historical and suggest that they then get on the agenda for planning board and bring to the planning board their sign, their marker, to see if in fact the planning board is comfortable with that, and then we'll take it from there and see what happens.
Right, and I think the way the process works is they go to the planning board and then they come back to us. And I correct Mr. And we can then make the decision, with the input of the planning board.
Excellent.
And I do think this is very different from signage. It's more a marker than a sign. So.
If I may, Ms. McCon, somebody from the town of Westwood caught me afterwards, who was at this meeting, who now lives in Dover, mentioned that she thought it was actually a state regulatory requirement or law, that waters feeding the Charles River or part of the Charles River watershed or something had to be signed as such. So it might be worth checking, having somebody on that team or that commission checking the regulations, because it may actually be a requirement that the town is not compliant with.
That's very interesting. I don't think anyone has thought of that.
Sitting next to you.
No, I'm don't have it, it could be true, I don't know, the person to contact would be Margaret Van Dusen at the Charles River Watershed Association. She's their counsel, and she knows everything about all that kind of stuff.
So maybe you can pass that along to the
Sure.
because they've really done a lot of.
Oh, they have done a tremendous
And
amount of
they put
work.
a lot of
Yes.
thought into this as well. Next, we're going to be setting our fall, winter, and spring meeting schedule. And right now, I can honestly say I can probably make any meeting. So what I would like to suggest, just because it works well for me, is designating a night. And I would like to recommend doing a Thursday night again and just setting it up for every other Thursday. I think it makes it a lot easier for everybody. And then if issues come about, we'll change accordingly. But this past year worked very well for the most part, and I know we'll make sure that we take into account any religious holidays to make sure that, we aren't meeting on the eve of a religious holiday.
Yes, yeah, I believe that none of the Jewish holidays fall on Thursday this year in 2016, 2017. So, and then of course, Christmas is on a Sunday this year, so, and the federal holidays are not on Thursday.
And then we've also tried not to do it during school vacation week.
That's right, and I think those are highlighted on that calendar.
The other thing I believe, unless I'm mistaken, is that we need to be conscious of any Jewish holidays that would be on Friday, because it would begin at sundown the night before, so Thursday night would be affected, I believe.
Okay, so the Jewish holidays are on October 3rd, which is a Monday. October
So then
12th,
Sunday night is the first.
Yeah. And then Passover for the major holidays is April 11th, which is a Tuesday.
And do we need to, I'm just trying to be thoughtful about this, do we need to be also aware of Hanukkah in December, or?
We have not been concerned about that in the past.
So we currently, and I'm going from memory, which is really dangerous, so we have a meeting scheduled for July 14th.
That's correct.
And then our next meeting is August 11th.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So I would suggest we start with September the 8th.
Okay.
Unless you'd like to start with the 1st. I kept thinking the 1st was Labor Day, but I guess
It's the Labor Day is the 5th.
Right.
And it might make sense to have it after that because the
Okay.
Personnel Board meets at the end of August.
That's
set
right.
the goal up and then
Okay,
meets
that
with the
makes a lot of
Selectmen
sense.
Board
All right, so let's start with
In
the
September.
8th and just every other week.
Okay.
And then as soon as I have conflicts, I'll let you know. Because I seem to be always the problem. So that's true. Because it just worked really well for me the year before. We would sometimes do Wednesday night, sometimes do, and I'd show up here and, oh, it's tomorrow? Okay.
Also for the viewers.
Right,
all
right,
those
right.
Thursday evenings.
As a former liaison to the board of selectmen from the warrant committee, I really appreciated the predictability of the last year's schedule. Yes.
I like it too.
Right, that was easy. Wow, this went well, this meeting. Next is my favorite item, it's appointments. And I think this evening we should designate a point person for each of the selectmen's committees where we need to appoint people. And I have a challenge for all of us. Let's see if we can get this done by September 30th. It seems to drag on forever. It's just a challenge. Let's see if we can get it done. I say September 30th because that way you can start September 1st, whatever. It gives us 30 days. So we do have, it always amazes me how many committees we have. The first appointment that we're responsible for is the Affirmative Action Officer, and I would like to not only assign it, but also make an appointment this evening. And
Congratulations, Mr. Warrington.
so I would like to, I would like to vote to appoint Mr. Ramsey as our Affirmative Action Officer.
I am deeply honored.
I second.
All in favor, quick? All right, one down.
Okay.
Many more to go. All right. So we have the Board of Appeals, which actually has quite a few openings this year. Now, Mr. Lawrence, would you be willing to be the point person? Oh, Mr. Ramsey, would you be willing to be the point?
Certainly.
And actually, not to split hairs, but I think it's an important point. Hopefully, none of these are going to be vacancies.
Right.
In other words, what we just need to do is be sure that people are willing to be reassigned for another term.
Exactly. All right. The next committee that we're responsible for is the Board of Fire Engineers, and I will take responsibility for that. If I miss a committee, please let me know. The next, we're also responsible for the Board of Registrars.
I will take responsibility.
Cable TV advisor, Mr. Ramsey, could you do that again for us this year? Capital budgets, and I am willing to be the liaison again, so
It'll be great.
we could actually knock this off the list if you want to nominate an appointment.
I nominate Robin Hunter as our representative liaison from the Capital Budget Committee. To the Capital
All
Budget.
in favor? Right? 2 down. Then the CMAC, Capital Management Advisory Committee, I will contact the chair and talk about those openings. Chief of Communications, could you take care of that, Mr. Ramsey? Conservation Commission,
Happy to do it.
thank you. Council on Aging,
Happy to do.
okay, great. The Dover Cultural Council, Ms. Kutash, would you contact the chair?
I could be
Okay.
voluntary. She's let me know when people have resigned.
Okay. Because again, I think most of the people will probably want to stay on, so we should contact her. The Emergency Management Director, Mr. Ramsey. We have an opening offense dealer.
And we have a recently retired
Right, so I will take care of that. Finance Committee of Roads, I will take care of. The Financial and Energy Assistance Coordinator, Mr. Ramsey, once again, take care of it for us. And what about the Forest Warden? No, oh, no. I need to put X's when people are not. Groundwater bylaw enforcement. You get all the fun jobs. Historical Commission.
Happy to do it.
Okay. The Inspector of Building and Zoning, the Inspector of the Wiring and the Deputy Inspector of the Wiring will take care of that, Mr. Ramsey. The long-range planning, I will take care of. MBTA representative.
I'm happy to take care of that, Ms. Hunter.
Okay, so I am extremely happy to nominate you as the liaison to the MBTA. Do I have a second?
The second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Right. Well, here's a fun one. Measure of wood and bark. What is that?
Connected with the tree warden, you said?
It's, I don't know that we've ever actually utilized it, but it's actually, does measuring to make sure that the quarter wood is really a quarter wood.
Oh, that.
All right, so are you taking care of it? Since you're the only one that knows.
I thought it was the thickness of the bark of the tree.
It might be thickness of that as well as thickness of lumber as well.
Interesting.
I'm on a mission to end
Okay.
it tonight. Metro West RTA representative, Mr. Ramsey, and Norfolk County Advisory Board,
Have to do that.
Open Space, Mr. Lawrence.
I'm happy to do that.
Okay. Personnel Board, I would be happy to continue on, so if you would like to nominate me, we can get this.
Excellent. I'd like to nominate you as the representative from the Board of Selectmen to the Personnel Board.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. And then there's one more opening, so I'll talk to the chairman after. And then personnel rules omnibus, I would like to make an appointment. I would like to appoint Mr. Ramsey to that position. Do I have a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, and I have another appointment, the Personnel Rules Ombudsman to represent. I would like to nominate Ms. Kutage.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Right. The police department, you'll take care of Mr. Ramsey. And we did have some recycling committee nominations. Do you have those repeated? Oh, do you have the recycling nominations?
Or if not, we'll just do it next.
Well, I promised right, so I know Amy Wilcox. So,
She's leading,
Right.
yeah.
so people.
So there's Carol Lisbon, Michael Kingsland, and the third one is Janet Greenwood.
Okay, all right, so I'm going to do that now.
And I think they're all for the standard 3-year term.
Right, okay. So I would like to nominate on the recycling committee, Janet Greenwood, Carol Lisbon, and Michael Conchilla for 3-year terms, which will expire in 2019. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor? And I would like to thank everybody on the recycling committee, especially Amy Wilcox, on Dover cleanup. Just Janet has big shoes to fill, so we really miss her. She's done a lot of work for this community over the years.
So do I understand then that Amy's spot is still to be filled?
No, it will be filled, Amy's is filled by one of those three, I didn't.
Janet Greenwood or...
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, it would be by Janet, that's right, because the other two are on committee.
All right.
Not necessarily the duties, but it's a general role, yeah.
So then, right to know coordinator, superintendent, and street surveyor, lumber, Title IX coordinator, Mr. Ramsey, will take care of all of this.
In fact, if you're ambitious, Madam Chairman, you could appoint me as a title.
I am extremely, I am on a mission here. I would like to nominate Mr. Ramsey as our Title IX non-discrimination coordinator. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We're almost done here. Oh, I went the wrong way.
Down to town council.
All right. So, Mr. Ramsey was town council, you took care of that one, and the town engineer. And we have the town report committee. Does somebody want to be the point person there?
I'm happy to do so.
Okay, thank you. And then the town sexton and treasurer and collector, I'm going to put your initials next to those, Mr. Ramsey. My apologies. Tree committee. I'll take care of that. And the Veterans Rape Officer and Veterans Service Director, Mr. Ramsey. And Water Operator Deputy, Mr. Ramsey. Okay. Whoever numbers these pages, I really appreciate it. I started going backwards halfway through. I was getting lightheaded going through all this.
Congratulations, you went through the entire
September 30th.
Wow, that's wonderful.
You will be done. All right. Now moving right along. Other business. So we have a reserve fund transfer for the water department. Mr. Ramsey, can you give us some insight into this?
Madam Chairman, we are requesting $3,800 as a reserve fund transfer to the water department to cover projected expenses through the end of the fiscal year. We had a previous prior notice of $6,400, so this is all of that.
Do we vote on this?
Yes.
Okay, so, I lost my pieces of paper. So I would like to make a motion then. Is there any discussion on this? Does anybody have questions? Okay.
I'd like to make a motion that we transfer from the reserve fund $3,800 to the water department.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye. Ms. Katie, do you have any questions?
Giving the detail as to what the expenses were, great, that. The committee would appreciate that.
Is that something that would be helpful for us to begin to
It would be.
available at the meetings?
Yes.
Okay, all right. So we'll make a note of that.
Thank you.
Any special licenses? Yep. I have quality control issues in my own personal quality control issues. All right. Okay. Mr. Ramsey. All right. And we only have one special license this evening, and it is for a wine festival fundraiser at Elm Bay on July the 10th. And as always, that seems like a fun event. As always, the police chief has signed off on this, so I would like to make a motion for us to approve the special license at Town Bank on July 10th for the Wine Festival fundraiser.
And I second.
All in favor?
All in favor? Okay.
License.
Special And now for citizens' comments. I actually have a citizen's comment. I would like to congratulate the Dover Sherborne boys lacrosse team. They have won their third Division III state championship in lacrosse. The Division III, this is their fourth time they won in 5 years. So it's a huge achievement. Go Raiders! And are there any other citizens' comments? With that, I would like to adjourn the meeting this evening, and I would like to add, it is ahead of schedule. Mr. Dolly, if you are watching, I have achieved.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you all. Have a nice July 4th.
Still, the hair is
So that was...